Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're continuing in Luke chapter 24, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He is risen, and he is risen indeed. We read those first 7 verses yesterday, and we're going to read verses now 8 through 12 as Jesus is revealed to these dear ladies that first come to the tomb. And so we read verse 7, remember, that the angel had said to the ladies that Jesus would be delivered into sinful men, be crucified, and on the third day rise again. Remember, he had said that. And verse 8, and they remembered his words. Then they returned from the tomb and told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. It was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them who told these things to the apostles. So it must have been a good group of ladies that had gone to the tomb early that morning. And their words seemed to them like idle tales, and they did not believe them. But Peter arose and ran to the tomb. Stooping down, he saw the linen clothes lying by themselves, and he departed, marveling to himself at what had happened. And so as we see Jesus arose from the dead on the first day of the week, verse 1, and it must have been very early. The earthquake came according to Matthew 28, 2 through 4, and the angel came and rolled the stone away. And they did that not to let Jesus out, but to let the witnesses in to see that the tomb was empty. And of course, the message is, come and see. Now, as we remember Jesus also saying in John chapter 14, verse 1, let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. I'm going to go away, but I will come again. I love that because you see in this passage that we have before us in chapter 24 of Luke, there were many different kinds of responses in the hearts of people concerning Jesus and what had happened. These ladies, it says, I love what it says in verse, and I circled it here somewheres, and it says, as they got there in verse 4, it says, they were greatly perplexed. They had perplexed hearts. But my friend, I'm telling you, Jesus is the answer for perplexed hearts. Now, Mary Magdalene is the woman who had been specially helped by Jesus and was very devoted to him, Luke chapter 8, verse 2. And she had lingered at the cross, remember in Mark chapter 15, verse 47, and she was the first at the tomb that gets mentioned here. And then, of course, we read today that also Mary, the mother of James, Joanna, and the other devout women also were at that tomb, and they came to prepare the body of Jesus for burial. And but boy, their labor of love was transformed into gladness when they discovered that Jesus was alive. Now, their main concern was on the way there, who will roll this stone away? Because they knew that the Roman soldier would not allow someone to break the Roman seal, and especially a group of mourning Jewish women. But God solved the problem for them because the tomb was open when they were there, and there were 2 angels here in Luke's gospel that appeared to these ladies. Matthew and Mark also talk about the one angel that gave them the message. And of course, this message was a kind rebuke. Remember how he spoke to you when you were still in Galilee, that he must die, he must be crucified, and he would rise again. Only remember that. My friend, one of the things we need to do for perplexed hearts is to remember the Word of God. Remember the Word of God. And they were told to go back and tell the other disciples, and of course they did. And then Mary, of course, she came back to the tomb, and there she's still perplexed, but Jesus shows up and meets with her according to the Gospel of John. She supposes him first to be a gardener, but then when he says her name, Oh, my friend, she recognizes his voice because my sheep hear my voice and they know my voice and I know their name. And boy, I'm telling you, everything changed for her at that point. And he will change everything for you when you hear him say your name, and he will through his word if you only listen. God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.